Hello, my name is Madeline Renteria, and in this video I will be rebuttaling against Daniel Week's points that support the topic of Mearsheimer being wrong about the security threat of China. Throughout Mr. Week's argument, he maintains the point of saying how China and the United States could be mutually beneficial towards one another. Mr. Weeks also brings up the point of consumer goods and the profits that each country gains by selling goods made by the other country. Both points are valid, and I see where Mr. Weeks is coming from. However, where I would have to disagree with my classmate is on the points he does make as well. I wouldn't say China and the US are beneficial towards one another. If anything, the two are using each other in order to assert dominance and to assert that each country is better than the other. In the video, Mearsheimer states that it is a better situation to be, quote, the most powerful state in the international system. And that is exactly what both states are succeeding at. Not only are each state asserting dominance by one another, whether they are using each other or trying to sell the other's products or consumer goods to gain profit, each state is trying to show the other, whether it is the other or also through their alliances, that they are the better state and that they are powerful. In regards to the consumer goods point made by Mr. Weeks, we can see that there are products beginning to be made in Mexico or even Canada. So we are beginning to stray away from products now being made in China, because now the US is probably aware that China is now another powerful state that does have a threat to our security. And now, since the US recognizes that, they want to instead be gaining products from our alliance, they want to be gaining products from our alliances, which are Mexico and Canada. Although there are probably many few products or consumer goods being made from our two alliances, we are beginning to see a small change, and that is beginning to minimalize the consumer goods and the money that China is benefiting from us in order to help take away from them being powerful and more focus on the US as itself to be more powerful. This move is not only beneficial for our alliance towards Canada or Mexico, but it also is minimal interaction or trade with the state that threaten our security, which is China. One point I'd like to bring up is self-help and self-interest, which was a point made in our neo-realism lecture. In the end, we do not have an alliance with China, but we are instead trying to overpower them, whether it is through our state's military or our state's self-interest. We don't have to go to war against each other to establish security of our states, and nor do we need to emphasize our plans of going to war if it does happen that we need to go against our enemy or through another powerful state. We don't have to boast about what is going on or what methods we will be using. Instead, that can just be a silent thought within the US until it is actually necessary. In the end, it is each state trying to survive, and if that means worrying about another powerful state within the international system, then each state must prove their strength and assert their dominance, even if it makes them a threat, in order to help minimize. Each state in the end is going to have their alliances, but in the end it's just going to be every state for themselves or every country for themselves, because as stated in the lecture, we cannot rely on others, because it could always be an interaction where it ends up being the alliances turn our back, or we can end up going against each other. It could backfire in some way. So to state again what Mearsheimer said in his video, to maximize our chance of survival, we have to make sure that we are the biggest and the baddest state, and I believe that is what both are trying to do, but in the end, China can still prove a security threat against the US. Thank you.